Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, September 7th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, and MSTY. Oh my God, I'm so happy this week is over. These trades have been insanity. They're very active, which is of course good, but some of these trades, to be honest, are, confusing and whatnot, very annoying. And yes, I'm complaining again because this week has been brutal. That being said, yeah, I'm going to annoy you guys. If you don't mind, please hit the like button. Let's go for 500 on this video. 500 likes, let's just say it's for the week because this week was a freaking mess. And you'll see what I'm talking about because this is TSLY, right? TSLY. Let's look at NVDY. Okay, not that bad. CONY. What the hell? And then MSTY. Yeah. All right. Let's get to it. TSLY. All right. So there's the sheet. Let's get back to the file. So what the heck did they do? So they sold a call, BC to put. Okay, that's easy. 1,500 contracts. They closed it out of their synthetic position. People were clearly selling out, so that's fine. They had to close some of it. And then they BC'd, obviously the contracts for, oddly enough, they BC'd some, 13.15 again, and then 185, and then they sold 13.15, okay? So, a little confusing, but obviously 13.15, 185, okay, that's 1,500. They closed, if they close out part of the synthetic, they have to close out the weeklies. Okay, why'd they do it this way? Who the hell knows, right? They did it in two different instances. But whatever, that's we can't harp on that. I've seen worse. In fact, I've seen worse yesterday. And then they BC'd, a 245, and then they used it again on the 230. Okay. Again, very active. They've been very active. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, it's a bad thing for me, but it just has to make sense. All right. So they have a synthetic. They have a synthetic 225. Is that the one they removed the 1,500? Yes, it is. If you see here, did they make money? No, they did not. You could see, obviously, the BC, the buy to close the put. That's row 5. They paid 4.1 million, and they received 2.8 million in closing the call. Because if you look, Tesla's price is 6% below the strike of this synthetic. But again, when people sell out of the fund, they can't just leave things as is. They actually have to close out the shares. So if they're using, current money for the synthetic and the calls, they have to bring them down. So that's what they did on the 1,500. The 230, this is 8% away. They did not close any of that. Good thing. They would have lost more money. So at least that was a smart move. All right, so we'll go to the September tab and see how yesterday went. Yesterday was bad. There's no hiding around it. And it didn't help. Obviously yesterday was ex-dividend date. So for people who own YieldMax, when the market's down, obviously the underlying is down, but on ex-dividend date, you're also down. So people holding YieldMax are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, what do we do? But, you do nothing. That's up to you, but it is what it is, right? It's part of the process. The stock market goes up, the stock market goes down. Obviously, when it goes down, Tesla went down 8.45%. Wow. Just looking at that again, I'm like, damn. And then look at TSLY. Obviously, TSLY went down because it was ex-dividend date, but on top of it, it went down, I don't know how much of the 8.45%, but obviously a decent chunk. TSLY went down 13.32% yesterday. That is a big dumpster right there. The day before, they're sitting at 14.04, the day after, 12.17. So, it sucks, but it is what it is. You can't blame YieldMax, right? You can't blame Yield. If you want to blame the high distribution, fine. That part you can. But the decrease from the underlying going down, what can they do on that? All right, so let's take a look at all this. All right, let's try to get it all on one screen like we always do. All right, so what happened? So they closed out some of the positions, right? So let me go back here. They BC'd, buy to close 3 different lines. 185, 242.50, 1315, 242.50, and then 1315, 245. Okay, that's fine. Let's see how it worked out. So there's the 3 items in red. You can see 68 cents, 52 cents, 55 cents. So they kind of split up, the original amounts. But in the end, those 3, yes, profitable. So one was forced. Obviously, they lost on the synthetic, but at least on the call, they won. And then one, they chose to close out 1315 contracts on the 245 because, it was 16% out of the money. So they figured, all right, let me roll that down into a 230, which is the bottom transaction. And that's 9.14% out of the money. So again, that is just a way to generate additional money. So if you take the 55 cents and you net it against the $1.61, Rose, this is Rose. Let me click it so you guys know. 55 cents. This is the closeout on the 245. And then using that same money and opening a new call at the $1.61, right? So if you take the two together, it's like $1.06 or so, right? So they're getting a $1.06 credit, where if they left it, you'd get nothing. So, either way, that's pretty good. So again, it's money. The only downside to that, to doing that, is if Tesla goes up 16% by next Friday, and then obviously that call would have captured all of the upside, right? But 9%, I'm not going to complain about this move. In fact, look at the 29,148 contracts. That's still 15% out of the money at the 242.50. Same with the 900, 15% out of the money. So as bad as yesterday was, if Tesla goes up next week, Tesla can recover with it. Basically up to 15%. Obviously, we have one at 9%, but that's a small portion of the overall contract. So again, as bad as yesterday was, if next week decides to be green, at least Tesla is kind of set up for that recovery. So they didn't, they could have closed out all of them and then put all the contracts 5% out of the money. That would have been a huge mistake, but they didn't. So that's good. All right. Anyway, outstanding shares decreased by 100,000. That's probably why they had to close out the 1,500 contracts. 30-day IV, 58%. Outstanding shares, 51,825,000. Total net income, that's a loss, unfortunately, 41.3 million. I'll have to double check the formulas too, because I just, there's been so much data, and I've been rushing everything because I haven't had time. This is why I'm bitching. But again, I'm assuming everything is accurate, but obviously, if you guys see anything, feel free to point it out. You guys help me a lot. Yeah, Tesla fund manager, kind of like a little pissed. Maybe this is Tesla shareholders, right? What the hell's going on? But yeah, unhappy. All right, so what do we got for the month? The month just freaking started, and we all just want to run away. Synthetic income, 44 million. Short call loss, 41 million. Total net income, 2.9 million. That's 6 cents per share. All right. I guess, right? Take it. Obviously, we can't use the Rotomator because that uses the it uses the short call income, which we are in the negative. Look at the IV. Too early to even talk about that, but so that's where we stand on that. Outstanding holdings. Zoom out. What do we got? Well, let's see. Our synthetics. The beauty about their synthetics, the Tesla synthetics, they expire in November. Thank God. Of course, they can still mess with them, but it's just good to know, they did go further out, or they were able to go further out. So I won't really harp on that. Let's just look at the, and I'll delete this. We don't have to talk about synthetic bailout at the moment. So total net assets, 630 mil. The NAV, 1218. Trade price, 1217. Rough week, rough closeout. But that's Tesla. All right, who's next? All right, NVDY. All right, this was the easiest one of the day. They got sell call BC put, 19,000 contracts. Okay, So they closed out 19,000 contracts from the 116 synthetic, and then they did a buy call, sell put right down, 2 on the bottom. And then they moved the 19,000 contracts to a 109 synthetic position. The old synthetic expired 9/20. The new synthetic expires October 18th. The old synthetic had a 116 strike price. The new synthetic, 109. Why did they do this? I'll tell you what I think. Hold on. That's my background music. All right. So here's the 116 synthetic. Yeah, the day before they did the same thing. But here it is. 19,000 contracts. Bye-bye. They closed it out. And they lost money. A lot of money. How much money? Like 26 million money. So they lost 26 million in closing out 19,000 contracts from a synthetic that expires in 14 days, but it's 11% away. So were they going to lose it anyway? Probably. All right, so they moved it to the 109. The 109 is also 5.66% away. But, opening the synthetic position, if it's down already, yes, they can get a credit. So if you see, when they added the 19,000, the sell put was greater than the buy call. So that's good. At least we got that. So they got about 11 million on that transaction. So yes, you see that from yesterday they added and they added again. So this will be the new synthetic. Unfortunately, this expires in October. It's not a November like the TSLY one, but whatever. Maybe there's limitation. We shall see. All right, so that's the synthetic. That's basically the only trade that they did. But let's still go to the September tab to see what we got going on here. All right, so for yesterday, NVDY went down 4.09%, $102.83. I'm sure it hit under 100 throughout the day. Yesterday was nuts. NVDY went down 9.46%. That's at $20.96. Can you believe it? Man, they were just hanging around the upper 20s for so long, and here they are. But they're still above 20. So they still the GOAT. But yeah, obviously because of ex-dividend date, that's why the big drop. Plus the underlying didn't help. All right, so let's zoom out. Let's see where we stand for the week, or next week, I should say. They got 2 strike prices. First, the lowest strike, 2,400 contracts, 115 strike, 11.84% out of the money. Good. And then they got, 84,400, I'm sorry, 84,540 contracts, 118 strike price, 14.7% out of the money. So just like TSLY, NVDY is ready. It's ready to recover. If NVIDIA has upside next week, because again, there was a pretty big sell-off this week. So if NVIDIA goes up next week, look at our calls. Look how far out of the money we are. We are ready to capture a lot of that upside. If it's another red week, oh man, it's going to be rough. I'm not going to lie. But, again, it could happen. It may not be over. But again, if it sometimes like big sell-off weeks, the next week it'll be green, especially the Monday. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm just saying that they'll be able to capture a lot of that upside. Unfortunately, like let's say Monday's down. Monday's a red day, and they close these out early, and they put it like a 5% out of the money, and then the next day or throughout the week they jump. That'll suck. But we'll see. Let's not jump that far ahead. Outstanding shares, I got nothing. So let's go to the recap. 30-day IV, 56%. Could do better than that. Outstanding shares is at 40,825,000. Still no net income for the month of September. These trades, again, these happened within the month of August. So nothing to count for September income as far as the weekly calls are concerned. Reaction, I just put taxes, and I'll show you why in a second. So why are they moving synthetic to synthetic? My opinion on that, again, I haven't been tracking this the whole fiscal year. The fiscal year, by the way, is the taxable year, and that would basically start November 1st to October 31st. I started, logging NVDY from, that was their first fiscal year, 222. Yeah, they've been around. When did they launch? I don't know when they launched. But either way, there were months that I didn't capture. But from when I started tracking NVDY, look at the synthetic income. In fact, just look at the net income. The overall net income that I'm showing, that's a profit of 60.1 million. But like, look, since what they did like the past 2 days, they took a hit, a loss of 28.5 million, which again, if they have more losses and more losses, when they do their annual statement and they declare what's return of capital and what's truly options income, it'll be less and less options income and more return of capital if they are able to net the losses against the positive income. Again, I think this is a taxable benefit to how these funds work. But obviously, yes, it'll reduce your taxable cost basis, which could eventually go down to zero. But in the immediate, this is a benefit for people who are worried about taxes in the current period. Again, I'm not a tax advisor, so don't go by me. This is just my thinking, my guess on what they're doing with the synthetics. Because, again, 28 million, that put them down to 60 million. And guess what? They'll probably do it again. You know, if they could take a hit now, because, again, essentially they're just moving money to money. I mean, if NVIDIA captures upside, they would have got it on either synthetic, right? They would have captured that upside on either synthetic. But they didn't want to take the taxable loss earlier, possibly for that reason. If not, I don't know. I need one of you guys to ask that question to Jay at the interview. If not, if I don't remember. Because, again, at my interviews, I no longer have my own questions. I just make it a community interview. You guys ask questions. I kind of follow up on your questions if I feel a follow-up is needed. Anyway, enough about that. So as far as September income, it's just that $28.5 million loss. No short call income, so no Rodemator, no nothing. So it is what it is. Let's go to holdings. The 1 billion is a thing of the past, so unfortunately we can't even, can't celebrate anymore. Yeah, not much to talk about for the synthetic, for the weekly calls. Obviously, negative cash, big payout from the ex-dividend date, and synthetic bailout. We can delete that too. Start fresh. So, total net assets for NVIDY, 854 mil. The NAV is 2093, and the trade price is 2096. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, this freaking disaster. I mean, I'm not going through this on the picture. I can't. But basically, the check marks. Okay, it's those are the ones that at least made sense, and then the ones I didn't check. These are buy calls. Buy calls for what reason? I have no freaking idea. I'm honestly so lost. And no, I didn't email YieldMax because honestly, I don't even care anymore. We'll see what happens Monday. We'll see, what they do. If you guys want to email YieldMax once I explain what happened, feel free, and you can let me know. But I'm just too exhausted to even care at this point. But let's see. What do they got? They got the 195. So yesterday was 9.6. So they closed out. Unfortunately, I do have to reference it. Yeah. So they closed out 195 synthetic, 1475 contracts. And did they make money? No. They lost money. They lost a lot of money, almost $7 million from closing that out. But look at that, man. That is far away, far away. That is a synthetic 195. Coin is at 147. Good God. So they closed that out. And then the 175... No changes to the 175. So the closeout was probably related to people selling out of the fund. So let's go to the September tab and make some sense of this nonsense. But first, how did Coin do yesterday? Well, Coin is getting its ass kicked. No way around it. Coin is just getting absolutely destroyed. And it sucks, right? I mean, September 4th, down 3.49%. September 5th, down 2.16%. Yesterday, down 7.73%. Wow. CONY, down 15.12%. CONY is at $11.34. I mean, again, I don't think this is going to last for long because you know how crypto is. You know, we've seen dumps like this before and we've seen recoveries. It's just a matter of when, right? Do you think Coinbase sucks as a company? Then get out of CONY, right? If that's the case. I don't, you know, they're a good, it's a good product. I mean, I've used Coinbase. I still have Coinbase. I just temporarily kind of got out of crypto because I had to. I just don't have the time and don't trust myself to even, you know, I'd rather do crypto through this. Okay, so in gray, these are previous closeouts. So we'll look at the closeouts for yesterday. Too many of them. But basically they paid what? 26 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, 55 cents. All of those closeouts, you know, early. Look how far out of the money they were. Now these closeouts, look at the expiration date. They closed out an expiration date of next week because it was so far out of the money. They basically, you know, this is what you'd call, all right, I'm going to roll my strike price down. They're not rolling the date out, right? Because the date is already out. The date is next Friday. So they're just rolling the strike price down, which means, you know, buy to close the call and then sell to open the new put. So in the end, yes, they made profit, lots of profit. So that's a really good thing. All right. So what did they do with the new trades? Let's see. Well, they have what do they got? They got 3 strikes. They got 16,000. This is the lowest strike. 16,505 contracts. 160 strike. 8.59% out of the money. They got 5,000 contracts. 167.50 strike price. 13.67% out of the money. And they got 12,100 contracts. 175 strike. 18.76% out of the money. Now this I like. I didn't realize how scattered they were until I looked at it now, but I honestly like how far spread this may not have been intentional because, you know, coin's been tanking like crazy yesterday and maybe there's different times they made these calls, but I like how far out of the money. I mean, the lowest one is 8%, so that's good. And the farthest one is 18%. So pretty good position to be in for next week. If coin has a 20% recovery, yeah, that'll kind of suck, but what are the odds? We'll see. Outstanding shares, no go. All right. 30-day IV, 74%. That I like. Outstanding shares, 41,825,000. Guess what? They got income, 6.7 mil. Distribution, 16 cents. Daily income, 8 cents a day. Daily yield, 0.71%. Annualized yield at 260%. Reaction, I mean, you'll see why. Payment information, yeah. So we got a synthetic loss of 6.8 million. So we don't have to talk about that at the moment. Let's look at the weekly income, short call income, 6.7 mil. That comes to 16 cents overall. Throw that into the Rotomator. Oh, let me delete my old estimate. Don't want to confuse you guys. All right, that comes to 226, which is a 240% yield. Obviously unrealistic because they've made a decent amount of money over 2 days. And of course, the estimate's going to be aggressive on that. Wait till we get through a full week and then the Rotomator will pick up appropriately. All right. Also, I'm deleting this section too because we are past house money. We know that. Congratulations, CONY. You have paid 100% of your original investment from inception. That is the good news. They were only a penny off from the month before, but all right. So here's the mess. Here's the freaking disaster. So, all right, we got the synthetic in pink, and we got the synthetic put in pink, synthetic call in orange. In blue, we have the weekly calls. What the hell is in green? Well, I'll tell you. If you go here, right? Buy call, look at that, unchecked, buy call, 3 buy calls, different strikes, okay, nothing, what, like, how does that fit into this? What are they doing? So, I don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, but I don't. So, if you look at one of the greens, right, the first one, row 11, 16,505 contracts, they bought a call for 170 that expires 9/13. The next screen, they bought a call for 177.50 that expires 9/13. Okay, the last screen, they bought a call for 185, expires 9/13. What the hell is this? Mistake? Possibly. So they may correct it on Monday. I highlighted some similar colors. So if you look at the pink 16505 contracts, matching them up together. So they sold a call at 160, that's their weekly, and then they bought a call for 170, right? I believe this is called a credit call spread, or whatever the hell they want to call it. Did they add that to the prospectus, or is it just an error? The 5,000, tie them together, right? They have what, a 167.50 sell call, and then they bought a call for 177.50. So again, the same situation, because they sold a call at a lower strike and they bought a call at a higher strike. And then they have 12,100, which same thing. They sold a call at 175, they bought a call at a higher strike at 185. What are they doing? So if you look, what is Tesla at? This is not Tesla, this is sorry. What is coin at? Coin is at 147.35. So even the lowest call is what, 170? 170. So is that even attainable? I mean, I don't know. I just think this is a mistake, but I just wanted to show this to you guys. Doesn't look like they paid a lot of money, 73 cents, 37 cents. Well, no, actually that's the close. What did they pay here? 89 cents per share, 55 cents per share, and 76 cents per share. So obviously, yes, that mistake adds up, but it could be worse. I don't understand it. But like I said, I'm too tired to care. All right, total net assets, 474 mil. The NAV is 1134. The trade price is 1134. If you guys have any idea what is going on here, because you guys know more than me typically, let me know. What the hell's going on? I don't know. But either way, let's move on. Let's go to MSTY. You know better, MSTY. Yeah, what do they got going on here? They sold a call, BC'd a put, okay, and they BC'd, 1550 at the 133. They didn't have enough contracts at the 133. Oh, wait, they sold a call at the 133. And then they closed at 133. What the And then they BC'd 1300 at the 132. Okay. Whatever you say. So let's take a look at the damage. All right, so they got one synthetic, thank God. So they closed out 1,550 contracts, and yeah, they got beat up on it. Of course, about over $3 million. But again, look, 17. I mean, it expires in 42 days, but it's 17% away. MSTR is getting beat the hell up. The market just overall beat up. So I need a sip of water. All right, September tab. Give me 1 second. I know people love hearing the water bottle crackling. All right, so what do we got? MSTR went down 4.41%. MSTY went down 11.92%. Obviously, yesterday was ex-dividend date, and they're paying a massive payment, so that's the dip. Monday should be payday, so everyone will be happy. Could you imagine if the market's green and Monday being payday? Things will be wonderful. It's just going to be a crying kind of weekend, though, until then. All right, so what the heck happened yesterday? Seriously, what the heck did they do? So, they closed out 1,500, right? What was it, 1,550? Yeah, 1,550. They BC'd, and this is in order. I thought this was in order of when they actually did it. So they BC'd 1,550 at 133 strike. if I go to the sheet, you know, I had 250. I had 250 contracts at the 133. So I was like, what in the hell are they doing? Right? What are they doing? So I think they BC'd the wrong one. But since they BC'd the wrong one, they had to cover it. So they sold a call at 133 for their other 1,300. Right? But they got a credit of 70 cents for selling that call and paid 89 cents to close out the other side. What the? So they lost money for what looks to be another stupid mistake. Again, I don't, this is why I'm annoyed, just by the way. Again, I'm not crying about pennies. I'm just crying about, trying to figure this all out. But then, okay, and then they BC'd 1,300 on the 132. Okay, fine, whatever. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so if I highlight in blue, that's the 1,550. Those are the contracts. Okay, they closed them out 89 cents. All right, whatever. Let's move on. And then they BC'd the 1,300. That's 80 cents. Okay, fine. They won. That's the good part. So all that's left, which is all we need to care about going forward, we're not going to talk about whatever disaster they did in the past. They have 33,815 contracts at 132 strike, 15% out of the money. Which, by the way, let me just make sure that ties up to here. 33,815 contracts. 33,815, okay. So they have a potential recovery possibility if MSTR wants to blow up next week of 15.49% at least. So that's really good. Because again, if they would have closed it out early, said go out like 5% out of the money, which they don't normally do with MSTY, but you get what I'm saying. The recovery would not have been as great. We'll see. If there is a recovery, of course. Outstanding shares increased by 150,000. All right, here's the recap. 30-day IV, 90%. Outstanding shares, 21,750,000. Total net income, 8.8 mil. Total distribution, 41 cents. That's 20 cents a day. Daily yield, 1.07%. Annualized yield, 389%. Yes, these numbers are blown up because there's only been 2 days with a lot of activity. Yeah, that's me. I'm just punching myself in the face, so don't worry about that. So what kind of income do we got? We got synthetic loss, 3.6 mil. Let's look at the short call income then. 8.8 mil. All right, that comes to 41 cents per share. Obviously, a Rodamator has to catch up. Once we have a full week, it'll make more sense, but we can enjoy and pretend, all right, 570, 359% yield. Yeah, okay. But again, this, the estimator will make sense as we get more days into the month. All right, so the outstanding holdings, there's no issues here like CONY at least, but there were issues on the trades, which was very confusing. We have a synthetic put that right now it costs 100 mil to close, which, very unfortunate, but it is what it is. The underlying tanked. What can you do? The buy call is only worth 19 mil. And then obviously just one call for next week, but it's way out of the money, so we're ready for a recovery. Total net assets, 413.9 mil. The NAV is 1903, and the trade price is 1907. Okay, guys, that's it. That's it, guys. That's pretty much it. That's enough, honestly. I've had enough of YieldMax trades for the week. I was saying in the Discord yesterday, I've never really come so close to being like, considering stopping covering these trades. Most times it is enjoyable, but, there was obviously it's been a busy week outside of this whole YouTube life, my real life. So forget that. But then you have the day with no trades. So that whole morning was just complete chaos. And then, of course, my son, we missed the bus on the second day. We had to get him to school. It's like, it was just insane. And then I opened the trades yesterday. I'm like, are you kidding me? And on top of that, what looks to be some errors. Like, what is going on? So that's why the frustration. So sorry about that. I will, be refreshed hopefully, come Monday, and we'll go from there. Obviously, I have many different videos I want to get out this weekend, but at least if we're not talking about the ugly, whatever the hell the trades are, we could talk about other things. But If you enjoy the bitching and complaining, please hit the like button. Again, we're going for 500 likes. We have to. I mean, that should be easy, right? Any questions or concerns, or if you have insight on those wacko trades, please let me know in the comments, because who am I, you know? I'm just giving my input. You guys, some of you guys are options legends, so you may have an idea of some strategy there, like buy 3 calls, like out of the money. Like what? What is that? Anyway, as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we'll try again next week, though. Maybe on the Monday recap. But yeah, I guess I got to get a keyword. Yeah. But what should we do? Let's have fun with it. Keyword today is I quit. I know I don't quit, but it's just funny. Keyword, I quit. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, all you have to do is type in the comments, I quit. But yeah, if trades like this keep happening, I will quit. And I'll cover another fund. But we'll see. Hopefully things get back to normal next week. But today's keyword, if you want to prove you made it this far in the video, all you have to do is type I quit. All right, just like an I quit match in wrestling, right? Anyway, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on the next video. Later.